Ever felt like you have lost control of your code or wished there was an easier way to collaborate with your team? Git and GitHub can fix that. Today, I'll walk you through version control, setting up GitHub, working with branches, and even creating pull requests. So let's dive in and unlock the power of GitHub. First, let's start with why you need Git and GitHub. Git is a powerful tool that tracks changes in your code like a time machine so you can go back and undo mistakes. GitHub is an online platform where you can store and share your code, making teamwork easy and secure. Now, here is a cool fact. GitHub is not the only platform out there. There is also Bitbucket, GitLab, and AWS Code Commit, all offering similar features. But for this video, we will explore GitHub because it's the most popular choice among developers. So, without wasting any time, let's get started. So, first, we will create a new GitHub account. So, go to github.com and here click on this sign up button. After that, we need an email address. So, here I am typing my email address, then set a strong password, and lastly we need to provide an username here. So here I am providing a username called IMS Coding _1. Let's continue. Username may only contain alphanumeric characters or hyphen, so instead of underscore I'll add hyphens. Then click on continue. Okay, then we need to verify, so clicking on visual puzzle. So let's set the direction of this object, then clicking on submit. Okay, now you can manually continue if you are redirected. Okay, now we need to confirm our email address. So let's go to email. So we got an email. Let's copy this code and pasting it here. Now our account is successfully created. We need to log in, so adding the same email here, and then password, clicking on sign in. Okay, perfect. Now we have successfully created our GitHub account. Next, we need to download Git in our machine. So just type here git install and then the operating system. So currently I am using Windows, so I am typing git install for Windows. Go to the first website and you can see download for Windows. So clicking on this option, click here to download, then the location, clicking on save. So the downloading is started and you can see the Git is successfully downloaded. Now let's install it in our machine. Open this exe file, clicking on yes. Now we just need to click on install. So it will take some time. Now you can see we have successfully installed Git in our machine. Click on finish. Okay. Now let's create a space to store your project called a repository. So I'm going back to my GitHub account and here you can see a green button saying create repository. So clicking on it, enter the name of your repo. So I'm adding like my first repo. After this we can also add some description here. So this is my first GitHub repo, setting it to public, and then just click on create repository. So congratulations, we have successfully created our first GitHub repository. Next, let's connect GitHub with your code editor. So first, download and install Visual Studio Code from code.visualstudiocode.com, and then copy this URL. So I am copying this URL by clicking here, launching Visual Studio Code, and let's open a new folder. So here I am going to create a new folder, GitHub setup. Now let's open this folder. Then get a new terminal. So click here and then new terminal. Okay, now click here and select git bash. Now we are going to clone that repo in our local machine. So before doing that, let's understand what cloning means. So cloning means copying a repo from GitHub to your local computer. Now let's type a command here, git clone, and then paste the URL that we have copied. So I'm pasting the URL, then hit enter. Okay, so in the left side we can see a folder my first repo, which means we have successfully cloned our GitHub repo. Now let's make some changes in this repo. So inside this folder I am going to add a index.html file, and let's write some HTML. So let's get a starting template using doc keyword, and inside the body I am adding this is my first repo. Okay, that's it. Now let's push these changes into our GitHub repo. So before doing that, I just want to show you that right now our repository is totally empty. Okay, we don't have anything here. Let's go back to Visual Studio Code. Now to push your changes to GitHub, we need to connect Git with your account. In the terminal, type git config -- global, and then user.name, and then type the username. So here I am typing IMS Coding. Next, git config -- global, then user.email, and type the email address. Perfect. So before pushing the changes, first we need to go inside this my first repo. So type a command cd and then my first repo. Perfect. Now if you want to see the changes, what are the changes, then we have a command called git status. So you can see we have a index.html file that we just created. So let's push these changes into GitHub. So first type git add and then dot. So this dot means all. So right now we have only a single file, but if there are multiple changes or multiple files, so this dot means add all changes. Okay, Now git commit -m. So after running this git add dot, the changes are on staging. So then we need to commit those changes. So we have a command called git commit -m and then add a comment here. So I'm adding my first commit and closing it. So we need to write the comment inside these quotes. Now let's run the git status command again. So no changes here, which means the changes are successfully committed. Now let's push the changes to GitHub. So just run git push, then it will ask you for select an account. So I already have listed some of my accounts here, but I want to add a new account, so I'll click on add a new account. So there are multiple methods to add a new account. We can directly sign in with the browser, then sign in with a code, and lastly we have a token authentication. Okay, so we need to get a personal access token from GitHub, and after that we can sign in. So I'll go with the sign in with a code method. Now first copy this code and then go to this URL. Then you can see this is my account. Clicking on continue. Now we need to paste that code here. So pasting the code here and clicking on continue. Then click on authorize Git ecosystem. Okay, congratulations, you are all set. Go back to your Visual Studio Code, and in the terminal you can see the changes are successfully pushed to our GitHub. So going back to our repo, and when I refresh here, you can see there is a new file index.html, and also the comment that we have added, my first commit. Now let's add two more files, about.html and home.html. So previously we saw git add dot command, which will add all our changes into staging. Now let's say I only want to push the about.html file, so I can also add a specific file. For that, let's run git status command, and then you can see it's saying untracked files. So we have two untracked files, about.html and then home.html. Now I only want to push the about.html to GitHub. In order to do that, type git add and then type the file path. So here I am typing about.html. Now let's run the git status command again. So you can see the about.html file is moved to changes to be committed section, and in untracked files we only have one file called home.html. Now let's commit these changes using git commit -m, then adding a comment, about.html file added, and then git push. Then it will again asking to select an account. So I am selecting IMS Coding 1. This time we don't need to authenticate it because we already did that. Now let's go back to our repo, and when I refresh here, so here you can see the second file, about.html, with a comment, about.html file added. Now if I make some changes in about.html file, so let's add a starting HTML template inside about.html file using doc keyword, then adding h1 about This is about page. Running git status command, git status, it's saying changes not staged for commit, and with a modified flag. We just modified the about.html file. So let's add about.html file into staging. So git add, then about.html. Git status. Okay. So now our about.html file is on staging. Let's push it again. Git push. Selecting IMS Coding 1. We also need to commit the changes. So let's commit git commit -m code added inside about.html. Then git push. Let's go back to our repo, refresh here, and let's open about.html. So you can see the code is here. This is about page. Git bash is a terminal like PowerShell or command line, but it supports almost all Unix commands. So git status command shows you what's happening in your repo, what's changed, added, or needs to be committed. Now let's see what are branches. So branches let you work on new features without affecting the main code. Think of it as a playground. If I run the command git branch, then I can see all the branches. So right now I am on main branch, and if I go back to the repo, you can see here all our code is on this main branch. For example, let's say we have a main branch which contains all our code, and we have two developers, John and Mike. So John is working on a search functionality and Mike is working on a sorting functionality. So first, John will create a sub branch on the top of main branch, and he will do all his work on that sub branch. After that, in the same way, Mike will also create a sub branch to work on the sorting functionality. After completing the work, they both will raise a new pull request to merge the changes into main branch. We will see what is a pull request. So let's see it practically. So if I run the command git branch, right now you can see I am on main branch. Now to create a new sub branch on the top of this main branch, we need to run this command called git checkout -b. So -b for creating a new branch. Then let's say I am working on a searching functionality. So I can name this branch like, I am naming this branch searching feature. Okay. So switch to a new branch searching feature. The branch is changed here, and if I run the git branch command again, so now you can see we have two branches. The first one is main branch, and right now we are on searching feature branch. So let's add one more heading here. Inside the index.html file, I am adding added searching functionality. Okay. Now first let's see what are the changes using git status command. So you can see modified index.html. Now let's add this change. So git add, then the file name index.html. So we need to commit it. So git commit and added search functionality. Then let's push these changes into searching feature branch. So git push origin Okay, after the origin command we need to specify the branch name. So I want to push these changes into searching feature branch, hit enter. Select your account. Okay, the changes are pushed. Now let's go back to your repo, and when I refresh this page, so you can see here below this main branch we have a new branch called searching feature. And if I open the index.html file, you can see here added searching functionality. So this change is only available on the searching feature branch. If I view the main branch and see here, I opened the same file, but there is only one heading here. And in our searching feature branch, we have added searching functionality heading. So this is how we can create a separate branch for a new feature or a functionality without affecting our original code or without affecting the main branch. Now let's say I have to merge these changes into main branch, so I can create a pull request. Here you can see an option of compare and pull request, or I can also create the pull request from this pull request section. So just go here and then raise a new pull request. So clicking on new pull request and setting the base branch to main, then comparing it with our searching feature branch, and it will show you the changes. So you can see in line number 9 we added this heading. Just click on create pull request. Then I can add some description here. Completed the searching functionality and click on create pull request. After that, it will check if the branch has conflicts or not. So this branch has no conflicts with the base branch. If a branch has some conflict, then first we need to resolve those conflicts, and after that we can merge that branch. So right now we don't have any conflict, so I'm just clicking on merge pull request, confirm merge. Now let's go back to our main branch, and I'm opening the index.html file. So you can see here the changes are successfully merged. Added searching functionality. So now both branch contains the same code. Now let's go back to Visual Studio Code. Now suppose the work is done and I don't want the searching feature branch anymore. So to delete this branch, so first we need to check out into the main branch. So git checkout main, and this time we are not adding the -b because we already have a main branch, and that -b is only for creating a new branch. So git checkout main, and let's check the branch again. So git branch. So you can see right now we are on main branch, and now let's delete the searching feature branch. So in order to do that, first type git branch, then -d for deleting the branch, and then searching feature. So it will delete the branch from my local setup or local machine. Now you can see it's giving me an error. The branch searching feature is not fully merged. If you are sure you want to delete it, then run the command git branch -D and then searching feature. So why it's saying that? Because we have some unstaged changes in our current branch. So you can see home.html is still in untracked files. That's why it's showing that a warning message. But we don't want this home.html file. So I can just run the command git branch, then -D and searching feature. Now let's check the branch. So we have only one branch main. So now the branch is successfully deleted from here. But if I go into the GitHub repo and see here, the searching feature branch still exists. So let's also delete it from here. So click on view all branches and then click on this delete icon. So it will delete the branch. Deleted now. Now let's go back. Now we have only one main branch. So this is how you can work with branches and create pull request. Now let's say we already have project created and we want to push that into GitHub. So let's open a new folder. In GitHub setup, I'm going to create a new folder and let's say like sample project. So opening this folder, and this folder contains an index.html file. So let's get a starting template using doc keyword, adding a heading sample project. Let's add a CSS file style.css. So let's assume this is our existing project and we want to push it to GitHub. So first let's open git bash terminal and then run this command git init. Okay, so you can see initialized empty git repository in this location. So it will create a hidden .git file which will handle all the things of git and we don't need to go deep into it. Now after initializing empty repository, let's go to GitHub and here I am going to create a new GitHub repository. So click here, create new repository, naming it sample project, then adding a description. This is a sample project, setting it public and click on create repository. After creating this, I want to push that code into this repository. So just copy this URL, go back to Visual Studio Code and here run this command git remote add origin. So it will make a remote connection to that repository from here. Pasting the URL and run this command. Now let's run git status. So we have two untracked files. Let's add these files into staging. So git add, then all, git commit -m, first commit, and then git push. So we also need to specify the branch name. So git push origin main. So I want to push this change into main branch. So it's saying that the main branch doesn't match, which means that the main branch doesn't exist. So I'll run git branch. So to see like we are on which branch. So right now we are on master branch. So let's push the changes to master branch. So git push origin, then master. Select the account. Okay. Now let's go back to GitHub. And when I refresh here, now you can see the files are added here, index.html and then style.css. So this is how we can add the existing project into GitHub. And one more thing, we can also use git commands into PowerShell. So let's see it. So right now I am in PowerShell terminal and if I run git branch, so you can see the git branch command is working and we can also use all of the commands here. So congratulations to you, you have just covered everything from creating a GitHub account to managing branches, merging changes and making pull requests. Git and GitHub are essential tools for developers, and now you have got the basics covered. This is a very basic tutorial on Git and GitHub, and in future I will create an in-depth video on this topic. If you are facing any issue, then just comment it below. You will get a response from my side very soon. Also, comment your best part, and if you found this video helpful, then like this video and share it with your friends. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, then click the subscribe button and also press the bell icon. I'll see you in the next video. Happy coding everyone.